All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to Get Heavy podcast, vlogcast, whatever. I'm here with Chimer as always, and today we got my buddy Drew Mack, or maybe he's over here. We don't know where he is.
He's below me.
Here, fuck, I don't know.
Below me.
Drew lives in New York. He's been you're quarantined for what? Almost 4 weeks now at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been on lockdown. So. We know each other from touring back in the past. He was in an amazing band called Hole, which my band toured with, awesome. and then a bunch of bands to do with teeth after that. Also, we saw your badass recording skills on the Brooklyn Vegan premiere of Midnight not too long ago. That was pretty wild, dude.
That was very rad. That came together. I've known Frank from Metal Injection since I've been out here, which is about 17 years. And he just hit me up and said, hey, can we maybe use your wife's rehearsal studio company called Pirate Studios and do a recording in there? Mm-hmm. I said, why not? That sounds like he said, this guy from Midnight is trying to write a song in like 2 hours. I immediately was, scoffing and like, I don't know what kind of song you're going to come up with.
Yeah.
But he killed it. And he
did.
He sat out in the hallway for like 30 minutes writing down lyrics and like just banged it out. And it was
I forgot it was like a one-man band essentially,
Yeah.
But
he has two dudes, but for live shows, and they're great too. But like,
yeah. I thought our buddy Sean Philly had something to do with him a long time ago. Are they from Pittsburgh or something?
Cleveland.
That's what it is. Yeah. So I thought the dude from Annihilation Time, many years ago, jumped over and was playing with those guys for a minute. You know what I mean?
I think so.
I think you're right. I remember something like that.
It was a long time ago now. But
that was before coronavirus times. I don't even remember what that's like.
Yeah, what happened before
coronavirus? What outside? What?
Yeah.
It's the new BC. You know what I mean? Fucking our old life now before Corona. Anyway, so you live in Manhattan, right?
I do. I live right in the middle of Manhattan. It's a pretty strange neighborhood to begin with because we live by Grand Central, the big train hub, and it's mainly just people coming and going from work. So it's been today was the most desolate day so far. I went out we ran out of coffee and we can't be having that. So I went out and looked around, and even the bodegas were closed today, which was strange.
I mean, they wouldn't close for almost anything, right? I mean, the bodega is the last thing to ever close.
They just don't care. Like I went into a bodega and dude's like wearing normal clothes, no mask, no gloves, no nothing, just like totally treating it like it's any other day. And
hey, puppy, we're going to get through it, huh? Like, that was my bad racist accent, by the way. Sorry.
How long have New Yorkers been like wearing masks, like on the whole?
It's pretty normal to see most of the year round because of there's so many tourists, and
right.
I feel like a lot of people, you don't really see a lot of smog here. We'll have our hazy days, but most everything blows through, and I feel like a lot of tourists will see somebody wearing a mask, and then I think just like kind of like, oh, the air quality is probably not that great, and so there's a lot of mask wearing in general, but I feel like it started a few weeks before we even really were told to stay home.
Oh,
and
really?
Even when we were told to stay home, I still went to work for almost a full week because, I work in a wood shop and we're all pretty resilient. We take really good care of ourselves. And I hadn't even we had theories about it. My sister travels a lot. She came here after being in Italy for like over a month. And she got really sick for like 2 weeks, and we kind of already thought that we already all had it. And like we all had a weird mystery illness that lasted like a week and then went away. So I don't know. It's a classic like New York way of just like, nah, we're stronger than that, like positive mental attitude, and like we got this. Keep living your life.
Your guys' germ exposure is so much gnarlier than anything we deal with. I mean, being on a subway alone is fucking bananas. And that's when honestly, man, when I started like seeing New York kind of go down. Well, and I don't know how bad it is. That's kind of what I want to talk to you. Like what we hear over here is that it's it's a death machine over there. You know what I mean? Like, but
well,
you know, I mean,
I'm definitely worried about it. I still see people, you know, post. I stopped going on the train a while back. Like, I think the very first week, which was like 4 weeks ago, I was still riding the train. Got laid off of work. My like wood shop closed, and still a couple days later, I went back into Brooklyn on the train to get all my guitar gear because I just knew that I was going to need to be playing and recording at home, and so I got all my stuff and took an Uber back home. And ever since then, I haven't been taking the subway, but I keep seeing these pictures of people being on the subway, and it's packed with people like early in the morning, and it's these people that are like called essential workers, and they're all going to work, and it's pretty fucked up, honestly. Like, I hope that New York doesn't mess it up just by being like
too proud.
Like, I think a lot of people are really proud of like our germ tolerance here.
Well, I mean, that's what made me worry. Is I start seeing New York get affected bad. I'm like, those guys are in it. You know what I mean? But it's also, when you consider that it's a completely new virus to humans, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what your fucking tolerance is. The exposure level is going to get you maybe eventually. Because we all went through it a couple of weeks ago. We've been on like 20 days lockdown because my wife my boy got a stomach flu, turned into a gnarly cough. My daughter got a fever for a couple of days and then kicked out of it. I had something in my chest. My wife lost her sense of smell and taste for like a week and kind of felt like shit. Right. And then that was it. You know what I mean? So we just assumed we had it and we locked ourselves down, and we're on like almost week 3 now, which is brutal, you know?
Fucking corona,
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really feel bad, but I was over here trying to Wim Hof fucking breathe that shit out of my body, you know?
That's how I am.
I'm using some Viking ceremony in the backyard, trying to like, I will get rid of this.
What I did. It's exactly what I did. I was out there watching those Wim Hof fucking breathing videos. I'm taking cold showers in the morning. No, not gonna do it. Yep. Yeah. I'm fucking Tai Chi, yoga / sword fighting all day. I don't know.
Have you heard maybe like entertaining the idea of like adding more subways for like those lines? Because obviously there's way less traffic than a normal time, right?
Totally.
So why don't they just like has there ever been a thought of like, I mean, have you heard, I mean, I would think maybe like locally, has there been a talk of like adding a few subway trains so they don't have to be crowded and you have like a limited amount of people on the subways? I mean, is that even like a possibility, or is everyone just like, there's no way you're going to stop that?
I think it's a possibility, you know, like I think people are just going to keep taking the train. Like when they were starting to say, stay inside, stop taking the train, I was still taking it because, man, like I can leave my house and get all the way to work without touching a single thing. You know, like I touch my Metro card to like swipe in.
Yeah, you swipe in and that's it.
And then even after that, I'm still like, I'm not going to touch my face. I'm not going to touch anything. And, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to catch any germs flying around. But like, I think a lot of New Yorkers are feeling that way of like, I can move around and not touch anybody. We're all pretty socially distanced usually anyway.
Right.
You know, except for like physical in the subway, like being shoulder to shoulder. But I don't know, man. Like I even riding around in a cab or an Uber to try and avoid the trains is almost even worse. I'm like, how many people has this guy picked up today? Is he even sanitizing his doorknobs or any of this stuff? And you never know with how long it takes to actually show symptoms. Or even I work with a guy whose parents are in China and went through the whole thing, and he was like giving us, you know, up to date information from them and telling us about all of his friends that had it and tested positive for it but didn't have any symptoms.
Right.
And they were like spreading it to everybody because they thought that they were fine. You know, I just don't know. It's we just been doing what we can, which I feel like everybody's been doing. You know, like going to Trader Joe's is fucking scary. You know, you just don't have any idea. Like,
Dude, it's crazy. Trader Joe's is like all of a sudden the poppin' spot where everyone has to, like, that's the only place they could shop all of a sudden.
and thankfully in New York, it was like everybody was like, "Fuck Trader Joe's!" Like, go to your bodega. You know, those guys are going to be open. B, like, no one's going there.
Yeah.
You know, and C, they're going to totally respect. Like, I'm going to wear gloves and, you know, like, try my best. Meanwhile, at Trader Joe's, with like 150 employees touching everything, and who knows?
Right.
Every other grocery store I've gone to besides Trader Joe's pretty much is okay. It's chill to get in. Trader Joe's or Costco.
Totally. I couldn't believe I went to the Whole Foods here. That's usually pretty crazy, and it was pretty mellow. They didn't even have to like make people wait outside or anything. It was like
yeah. It's chill.
Wow.
Chill enough.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, so how like how is your? I mean, you have a young kid and a wife, right? How are they? Are you guys actually completely out of work, or are you guys able to?
My wife was working. She kind of had she's like an operations manager, so for like rehearsal spaces, so she can definitely work from home. But since she works for a UK company and they did the furlough over there, and then it kind of came over to here, and it was like they only have a few employees over here, and it just kind of seems like, well, there's nothing happening anyway, so let's just like call it off. So she got laid off yesterday.
Oh man.
And you know, that's fine. Like, we're going to be okay. Hopefully, depending on how long this goes for. But like, honestly, aside from having a kid, like having a 4-year-old right now is pretty rough. He's like, he just started school, like a preschool. And we're very honest with him, and to be like, man, we can't go outside. Like, we go up to our rooftop and enjoy some sunshine and do stuff and play games up there. But like, you know, we don't really want to take him outside because he's just going to want to go to a playground or do something where there's germs everywhere.
Yeah. Are the playgrounds open?
They are, but that's
crazy.
You know, it's just not something that I want to do. Like, even.
But that's crazy. The playgrounds are open because the playgrounds are not open out here.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, no, like they basically cut out every kind of outdoorsy anything.
Yeah. They closed the trails, the beaches,
all the
parks,
everything.
You know, and
but the thing is that there was a bunch of stupid people going, and it's like, if you're gonna force, and the thing is, if you're gonna tell everybody to go home, and only 90% of the people go home, if the 10% fuck it up for everyone else, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I have a couple of friends in Brooklyn that, like, you know, they're like, everything is shut down. Brooklyn being much more like, there's just restaurants and bars everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, that stuff isn't really going to be open. If it's a restaurant, they might be open for delivery, but like, you can't go in.
Right.
But they both live by this big park, this big community park. And they just like, they've been telling me that every day it's like full of people hanging out, and that's good. Like, I know that people need that. Like, even my bandmates have been going, but it's just not a good idea. Like,
it's just gonna keep the problem's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
You know, because eventually it'll hit all those people if they keep going to the park. They go, oh, went to the park, it was fine. You know, I've tried to drive around and like go find places. And like any place that I would go to, like a national park, whatever, if I see like 5 cars parked there, I just be like, nope. Later, I'm gonna go somewhere else. You know, I literally pulled over to the side of the road by a lake the other day, just like on the side of the highway, and just like me and my roommate drank a beer.
Yeah.
And just like, and that was it. And I was like, this is what our life is right now. This is what is excitement. You know?
Yeah.
But still. But I mean, I don't want to hang out with anyone. I get it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to hear the playgrounds.
You know, the kids are.
It's crazy to hear the playgrounds are still open, though. That's what kind of blows my mind, especially with what we're hearing about New York. And you know, we're nowhere near the numbers of New York. And we're locked down like that.
I mean, I think people are concerning themselves with information that is like, I don't know if it's correct or not, or misconstrued or whatever, but I do see a lot of people outside that I'm just like, what are you doing out here? Seems like you're just hanging out. Or like, saw a lady earlier today, like, again, I ran out of coffee, went and got coffee while like everyone in my family is asleep, and I see like a pregnant lady and her 2 kids like out walking around.
Seriously.
And like, you know, like grabbing onto the light pole next to at the intersection. And, you know, it's like, dude, when we go to sleep and we're all inside, there's like homeless people like all over the place that are not washing their hands ever. And are probably touching all sorts of shit.
Oh yeah.
You know, you just never know. I don't know. I just wish people would be taking it as serious as it needs to be taken. I definitely wasn't at first. I was like, man, I'm not going to get sick. My immune system rules.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink tequila. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, like, watched the news and was like, okay, I'll stay.
All right.
I'm not doing anything.
Well, it's like there's people that take it not serious at all. And then I saw a lady yesterday that literally her whole entire body was covered in trash bags. I was like, dude, what are you going to do? Are you just going to throw yourself in the dumpster as soon as you get it? Like,
Somebody
I don't know what's happening here, dude.
You have to shave your beard because this is just collecting germs. And I was like, no.
Bitch, my beard's cleaner than your cell phone for sure.
Try me.
Yeah, it's wild, man. But how do you feel that the city of New York and the mayor's like handling things? Is everyone on board with him, or is there a lot of like
dude, I think
from over here it seems like he's doing a great job, and so is our guy seems to be really stepping up.
I mean, Cuomo is really stepping up, and I think most people were like, most people did not give a shit about Cuomo.
Yeah,
and he really stepped up, and not quite in that Italian way of like, we'll come out with the flamethrowers, and which I was kind of expecting from New York, like, we will come by and like pop some caps by your house if you're hanging out.
Yeah.
But he really, I felt like he responded quickly. He knew that it was going to be a sprawling urban shit show, and he knew what was up. And I think everybody has a lot of respect for him right now after how he held.
That's good, man. I mean, and were you around in the 9/11? Were you there 9/11 days or no?
No, my wife was.
I wonder what the reaction will be later. You know what I mean? Where almost like how, everyone talks about how much 9/11 unified the country so well, like,
totally.
Wonder, man, is this going to be, I wonder if this would have that same type of feeling once we do crest out of it,
Yeah.
Because 9/11 affected obviously the country, but I mean, as far as New York goes, you know what I mean? That was the epicenter and the gnarly, that's what happened, you know what I mean? And everyone talks about how this city for one time was unified, like completely,
Absolutely.
Hopefully we'll be like much stronger when we come out,
No, I mean, we see it happen daily. Once shelter in place happened, all around our neighborhood, which is Manhattan, which is not very community friendly. It's like Brooklyn and Queens are way more community based. Manhattan is like the city, and it's pretty cold. But we immediately saw all over the place people posting signs that said like, if you're 60 years or older or immunocompromised, give me a call. I will run errands for you. Like,
that's cool.
Working from home. And that was really cool. And then, like I said, everybody's been doing these clapping, cheering things every night at 7 p.m. for 2 minutes for all the essential workers and mainly for the hospital staff. And we've been making sure to like involve our son in it and hang out the window and really get into it. And every night it's gotten bigger and louder and more people out on the roofs and like coming out and really cheering. And
that's neat, man.
And that is like, you can feel that New York spirit like coming together.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I wanted to ask how is like, can you tell, are your hospitals overrun like it says? I know I just read an article, they received a huge shipment of ventilators today from China and somewhere else, so everyone was stoked, it seemed like. But how is that? I mean, have you like heard any real like true horror stories about the hospitals yet, or is it?
I haven't. Managing a group of people. I remember like one Monday opening up the wood shop and being like, "Yo, if you have any sort of feverishness or even like a runny nose, call the hospital. Don't come into work." And then I remember within like 2 or 3 days, I had to gather all my employees again and be like, "Don't call a hospital. Like, stay at home, or don't go to the hospital. Stay at home. Call your doctor or a hospital. Don't go out. Maybe you can just self-quarantine." And then our son was actually in this preschool program that's inside of a hospital.
Really?
And so I was going there every day after work to pick him up. My wife was dropping him off there every morning. And it's just crazy the amount of people that we don't think about. Like, we're smart guys. I know you too. You guys are fucking smart guys. I love you guys. I would trust you guys with my life. But there's this whole spectrum of people that are just don't understand what they're doing and the footprint that they're leaving behind them. I mean, You would walk inside this hospital where my son's school was in, and there's like 4 or 5 automatic dispensing, hand sanitizer things. And I would just sit there waiting for my kid to get off of school and watch all these people like stick their hand underneath it and then fully like wipe their hand across the machine. Just like, dude, you're missing the whole entire point, and just come in and coughing on everybody and bumping into people, and this was before I was even freaked out about it. And, we immediately pulled him out of school because we were just like, everybody who has it is coming to his school.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And, even though we're all good and his immune system probably totally rules, we're not gonna risk it. So I haven't heard anything from anyone who's, we have one friend that's my wife's friend that is a healthcare professional, and she was really beside herself and was really like, didn't have the proper protective gear and was like, "I'm not coming into work so that I can get this and maybe die. Like, I'm not doing it." And what a crazy decision to make. Like, I've always felt like, man, if you signed up to be a doctor or a nurse or a police officer, you already made that choice to put your life on the line. But this is different, man. This is like, it's there already,
Yeah. And it's just it's so crazy that in 2 days it went from, hey, go to the hospital, don't come into work, don't get my ass sick, to like, okay, don't go to the hospital, but try to stay your ass home so I don't get sick, I can't. So it must have flooded those hospitals pretty bad, like immediately, Which,
well, I think that's why Cuomo did a pretty good job. Like, he kind of woke everybody up. It was really the curve to like getting in line and getting inside and not going to work and all that shit. It took a minute. New York is very like, I felt the same way. I was like, I'll go to work. I'll ride my bike. Like, I don't give a shit, I'll go to, I was going to my local bar every day for lunch and like, I was like, I'm going to support these guys. Like, they're about to get fucked. Like, we're all punk rockers and we like have germs on us constantly. So I was like, not worried. But it very quickly was like, oh, it's not even about that. And so Cuomo really woke everybody up. Like, that's good, man. Do you feel that you guys have peaked in your area yet, or does this look like it's even going to wrap up? I mean, they're saying they have everything closed till late April here, so I don't know how it's looking over there. I mean, do you guys think you'll be back to business by June, or what does it feel like right now? Like, or is it just you're in the middle of it and you have no fucking clue anymore? Yeah, I really, like you said, the apex is supposed to come. I'm like, I think we're almost there. Like to be honest, like, my family's been having a fucking great time. Like, my kid has been kind of a shithead for the past like 4 days because he's a little sick of it, which I find hard to believe. I'm like, watch any movie you want. Like, let's have crazy food and make pancakes and fuck it, like. Yeah. And we're waking up and being like, I'm gonna have a fucking Bloody Mary and like, really enjoying ourselves. Exactly. And I'm playing music, and my wife is having a she's doing every Saturday with her friends doing a dance party where she DJs. She's doing it right now. And like,
oh, cool.
My kid won't go to sleep because he's like, I want to be part of the dance party. And,
yeah,
you know, we've been having a great time, and we're just now getting to the point of kind of like, I just want to like hug someone.
Anybody.
My apartment, you know, like,
yeah.
So I don't really know.
Yeah. Okay.
We're shooting for June. I mean, I would like for things to kind of be back up and running in June. But my mind immediately, where my mind has been, is like, we're going to think we're out of the woods and go back out into public and just like spread it. Just
that's the
like,
thing.
Did you not get it yet? Like, well, when we come back out of hibernation,
you're going to get it. Yeah. Just wait till winter rolls around. You're fucked.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have a very grim view on when we're coming out of this.
It's funny too, because I think you're going to be able to tell through these like series. We're going to try to keep these series going, you know, just talking to our friends. And it's like, at first we're all hopeful, everything's cool. And now we're like starting to be like, this is a shit show. You know, I think like, about week 7, we're going to be like, ah, you know, like it might just be like tears crying, you know, people crying, and that's it, you know. I don't know, man.
It's gonna be a fucking long time, because like we have to get down to a point where it's like, okay, it's low enough where people can go out again. Yeah. And what is that point? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What happened? Like, how low do we have to get where it's like everyone feels okay to just go back?
I don't know, man.
Oh shit! Here come all my bandmates trying to FaceTime me as well.
Nice. All right.
That's how we have band practice now.
Do you guys actually play? What we've been asking to everyone is, how are you killing time? I know you're a dad, so that takes up 89% of it. But what are you doing to keep yourself? You know, as I always think, as an artist myself, if I'm not creating something, I'm gonna, you know, I will kill myself probably. You know what I mean? So
I think it's been so.
What have you been doing?
It's been so insanely rad how much art and music has been coming out in this. Like, that's the only silver lining for me, is just seeing all my friends just like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna do a daily art project. I'm gonna do a daily video podcast. I'm gonna like, absolutely love it. I've been trying to challenge myself to, you know, record something a day on the guitar, or, you know, I'm learning like my MIDI setup and trying to play keyboards a little bit more. My wife can play. We've been trying to get our kid involved in playing music, and that's been pretty good. And then with my band, we've been trying to kind of like sync all our files, kind of doing this like big tech journey of like, what program can all of our computers run that we can sync files and have it be like anybody can open it and throw something in, and then we all have it. And we finally just got there, and our drummer is ballsy enough, being a born and raised like Louisiana dude. He doesn't give a shit, and he keeps riding his bike to practice. And he like, we'll make this whole click track and record all our guitars to it, send it to him, and then he'll ride into our practice space and like record live drums. And we're supposed to be like
fucking just mouth open, fucking going for it, you know.
Like, I'm so jealous. I'm like,
riding 2, we're practicing, you know.
Yeah.
It's always fucking Louisiana, man.
Yeah, and you know, we're supposed to be recording in like a week or 2, and of course that's postponed, and that's not a big deal. But you know, we're just trying to stay on top of it and try and use it as like a catharsis to just like get it all ironed out, and so that we can do it all the time and not miss a huge leap. You know, keep the momentum.
Yeah, I definitely feel like this is the one of the very rare fucking times in your life where if you have something you want to do, this is the time to try to do it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's going to be very hard to create a successful business. You know what I mean? But like, dude, as far as artistic,
put the whole thing together. You put the whole thing together. You know what I mean? And
I mean, start building it.
Because I'll bet you business loans will be flying off the shelf or some way.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
They'll be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you want
to rain on your ass, dude.
Go right ahead. You know, and then you get, you know, put it all together and then just sit and wait and just be like, all right, time to hit now.
Yeah.
No one's credit's going to shit. No one's credit's going to shit because of Corona.
Oh,
Right.
totally. Yeah.
Like everyone's going to get some sort of forgiveness. So
yeah.
I think
I mean, we're still paying our rent and trying to be good citizens, but
yeah. I mean, I'm going to pay my rent until I can't.
Yeah.
That's
and
about all you
I'm gonna be like, hey, what the hell do you want me to do? Look, I gave you 2 months.
Yeah.
I gave you 2 months with no work.
That's like my golden ticket. I'm like, we paid until we couldn't. Like, what more
can
I do?
Yeah.
We have like one employee that got unemployment so far, and everyone else that I know has been trying and just like posting all this like, I've been on the phone all day, literally all day, and haven't heard a single voice. And
I applied online, and I haven't heard anything. I mean, I got an email back saying, okay, you applied. I'm just like, I don't know, like, there's who do you call? Who's in the office? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Online for sure. I have a buddy that just applied as soon as they furloughed everyone, and he just got a notice on how much he's going to be getting a week. You know what I mean? And it was like about 3 weeks ago at this point. So he's like, fuck, man, I don't know. It's wild. Do you have any?
Is it at least kind of worth it? I mean, the money is.
No. It's not. It's like, I think California is like $480 a week. You know what I mean? Like, no matter, that's the max. But then the stimulus knocked it up to, I think, to 600.
No, they knocked it up to 1,000.
Oh, it's 1,000? Oh, that's cool.
They added 600 a week.
Oh, they added 600. Okay. Well, that's even better then.
Yeah.
So
that's
somewhat almost living. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
But what have you we always ask, like, what have you been watching? Obviously, we're all watching TV. Are you got any good shows?
What's something that that got recommended to you? And what's something that you discovered that you were like, holy shit? And how many times have you seen Tiger King?
We watched Tiger King once.
Okay.
And that was one thing that got recommended, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And turned it on totally blindly, and was like, oh shit, we're watching all of this, and it was fucking great. I mean, how can you go wrong with all that shit?
Right.
The thing that actually got recommended to me a long time ago, and I fucked up by, it's a German show called Dark.
Oh, okay. I've seen a little bit of it.
And like, I turned it on, and it had like English, like it was like dubbed in English.
Mm-hmm.
And it just was so weird, and I was like, oh, this seems so cheesy. And finally I went and watched it back again, and had the German, like had the English subtitles.
Yeah.
And it's all in spoken German. And like, I had such an appreciation for the German language afterwards. I was like, this is gorgeous. Like, listen to that word he just said. And the show is fantastic. The show is really good.
Yeah.
Totally like sci-fi.
I heard that it's very good. Yeah.
It's really good. It took me a while to get into it, but
yeah.
I've never seen it. I've never even heard of it.
It's really good. We've been doing all the regular like Westworld and Ozark and all that shit. Man,
so I'm like 3 episodes into Ozark, the new season. Oh my god, man.
Woo. We just watched the last one last night. It was.
Oh, you watch the whole season? You're done?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man. Oof. Yeah, I can't. I got to get into it. The Westworld's killing me, dude. I'm 1 episode from giving up on that motherfucker, dude.
My wife already gave up like once.
Yeah,
now
I'm right behind her, dude.
Real world, and she's like, I don't even want to watch it. I love that kind of shit. I like where they're taking it. I'm such a sci-fi nerd that I'm totally into it.
You know what I watch? I'm a sucker for like explosions and badassery, like obviously, you know.
Yeah.
But I watched Bloodfather the other night. It's on Netflix. It's Mel Gibson.
Oh, I was clicking around last night. And I saw that come on my thing.
Dude. It pulled every single Bloodfather, dude. It pulled all of my white trash heartstrings, dude. I mean, every single one of them, dude. I'm over here tearing up like an idiot. I just watched Onward and felt nothing. I watched Bloodfather and I was like, oh, you got me, bro. You got me.
You feel nothing when you watch Onward.
I'm kidding. I absolutely cried like a baby when I watched
How
Onward.
did you not?
I did. I teared up hard, dude. That was a hard. I teared up hard on that one.
I was a wreck in that movie. Fucking
Pixar knows how to get the adults, man. They fucking reel you in with some.
They get you, dude. Yeah, Onward is. You'd have to be a monster to not feel anything. You know what I mean? Yeah, which I'm on the verge.
Very. I'm getting close.
I'm not teetering. Yeah. Anyway, Bloodfather, dude. I don't know why. I love it. I like badassery. It's like a bikers and it's so fucking wild, dude.
Yeah.
I showed my 13-year-old son in the during this apocalypse time. Team America World Police.
Oh,
and
that's a good one.
He laughed for 45 minutes straight. Like a constant, like he rolled off the couch. He rolled off the couch and was laying on the ground trying to hold himself up on the couch on the coffee table, just like, because like, you know that movie, it just goes for it, you know? And he was just
dude.
Like, oh my God. Awesome. The line that got him though, this is the best thing. And this is what made me so much miss being a 13-year-old. The line that killed him was, the guy looks at him and goes, "Hey man, I'm gonna rip off your balls, shove them up your ass. So every time you shit on your balls." And I was just like, man,
that
like
13-year-old gold.
13-year-old gold. He was just like,
Kobe.
I cannot believe that just was said. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'm like, oh my God, questionable and amazing parenting.
That's another like that crew of those writers. I can't wait to see what they write about after all this. Like, holy shit!
Oh my God!
Yeah. Right. That's a good segment we should start doing. If you're a parent, what sort of questionable behavior have you allowed so far on this coronavirus?
I mean, definitely shit that you would never do. Like my kids in the living room watching YouTube right now, like it's going out of style.
Oh, dude!
I would never let that happen.
My kids have been living
full days of just like, here's the TV, see ya. Like,
do whatever you want.
Yeah. Dude, my kids have been living in a fort in the living room for 4 days now. Like literally, I came in and my son had his Chromebook open and his head was on the fireplace mantle, and he was like dead ass asleep, no blankets, no pillow, and I just went, he'll figure it out, and I went right upstairs, dude.
All good.
Like, yeah. He woke up about 3. He's like, my neck hurts and I'm really cold. I was like, oh, okay. Sorry, buddy.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, that's fucking wild, man. Well, hey, dude. I appreciate talking to you, man. I mean, this has been great to catch up. Cheers.
Oh yeah, love you, boys.
I'm eating on a Pop-Tart.
You're eating a Pop-Tart? That's nice. Corona shit.
Hey, man, look, man, I got maple brown sugar Pop-Tart because it reminded me of my youth, and I was just having one of those days. Okay.
It's just
I get. Hey,
the little things. The little things.
Some mornings it's shots of vodka in the quarantine.
Oh my God.
So,
yeah.
I definitely woke up and immediately did a shot of Jägermeister the other day.
Yeah. I mean, at what point have you ever operated like that besides when you were like 20? You know what I mean?
You don't even feel bad about it. You're like, you don't even question it. You're like, hell yeah, I'm having a drink.
Yeah. You're all cool.
I've heard from other people, like the people that are quarantined alone. Holy shit. Oh my God.
You're going to have some crazy motherfuckers, dude.
I've talked to some people that are quarantined with like a girlfriend or a wife that is like, you can't just drink all day and you can't do this and you can't do that. And it's like, dude, I don't know how you're surviving.
There'll be lots of divorces coming out of the quarantine.
Right.
Yeah. I think we're going to survive Corona, but we're going to die of the alcoholism. You know what I mean? It's like what's so weird because like so many people didn't die, but then a year later died of liver failure. What the fuck? What happened, dude? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, then next year there's probably going to be like a Coronaversary and we got to drink for a week straight, you know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, man.
When I went driving with my roommate the other day, we pulled off the side of the road and he almost slipped. We were like on top of a mountain, you know? And he slipped, and oh my god! And I go, yeah. I go, hey man, did you hear Sean died? And he's like, what? From coronavirus? I'm like, nah, he fell off a mountain.
Idiot.
Like, during coronavirus, but not because of corona.
Yeah. That's a bummer, dude. You die, you don't even get the glory.
Yeah,
you know?
Come on. Be a part of the pandemic already.
Yeah. Fucking quitters.
No participation awards.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hanging, Drew. It's been great.
Yeah,
Dude,
man.
love you guys.
Great to catch up with you, man.
Great to catch up with you guys. Keep kicking ass.
All right, we'll check in with you in a couple weeks, see how everyone's doing.
Fuck yeah.
Out there.
Keep shredding.
All right, bro.
I've been seeing videos about that and shit. And I've heard about that thing happening. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty rad. We went up on our roof yesterday and really got to scream into the heavens. It was nice.
I'm really recording right now. Can you open your window? Let's hear it. Can you still hear people?
Yeah, I don't know if you can really hear it, but
I can hear it.
I can hear it. That's awesome, man.
We're kind of in a weird neighborhood. We're like in the middle of Manhattan, so.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of desolate, but we mainly cheer just for like hearing everybody.
Yeah.
Staying home, like fuck yeah, stay home.
That's great, man.
Don't make this any worse than it already is.
Yeah, it's already bad enough. That's really neat. So at 7:00 every day, everyone in the neighborhood claps for the workers and stuff, huh?
The whole city of New York does it.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Yeah,
Cool,
makes my wife cry pretty much every time.